Please stand for the arrival of His Excellency Dr. Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. Please remain standing.
Namaste. Salam, good afternoon. I invite you in prayers as you pray for the opening of this new place of treatment for water. Om Ekadantaye vidmahi Vakratundaye dhimahi Tanudante prachodayate. Om Gananang Tva Ganapati Gwang Avamahe Priyanang Tva Priyapati Gwang Avamahe Nirinang Tva Niripati Gwang Avamahe Vaso Mamam Hamajani Garbadang Atmajasi Garbadang. Om Gita Ganga Gayatri Sita Satya Saraswati Brahm Vidya Brahmbali Trisanna Mukti Tidayani. Hari Om Shanti 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 Hari Om.
Good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا يسخر قوم من قوم عسى أن يكونوا خيرا منهم ولا نساء من نساء عسى أن يكن خيرا منهن ولا تلمزوا أنفسكم ولا تنابزوا بالألقاب بئس الاسم الفسوق بعد الإيمان ومن لم يتب فأولئك هم الظالمون يا أيها الذين آمنوا اجتنبوا كثيرا من الظن إن بعد الظن إثم ولا تجسسوا ولا يغتب بعضكم بعضا أيحب أحدكم أن يأكل لحم أخيه ميتا فكرهتموه واتقوا الله إن الله تواب رحيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم لك الحمد كله ولك الشكر كله بيدك الخير كله وإليك يرجع الأمر كله اللهم لا نحصي ثناء عليك وأنت كما أثنيت على نفسك يا رب لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك وعظيم سلطانك اللهم أنت خلقتنا وأنت تهدينا وأنت تطعمنا وأنت تسقينا وأنت تميتنا وأنت تحيينا اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار اللهم ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب اللهم إنا نجعلك في نحورهم ونعوذ بك من شرورهم اللهم إنا نسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى جزا الله أن محمدا صلى الله عليه وسلم ما هو أهله سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين برحمتك.
Good afternoon, everyone. Our eternal God and Father, we give you thanks for water, which is a source of life. And even as this well is commissioned today, I pray that it shall flow consistently for many, many years to come, yielding life and refreshment to the people of these communities who shall depend on it for their supply. Accordingly, I declare that this well is blessed in the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Amen.
You may be seated. His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Honorable Colin Crowell, Minister of Housing and Water, Honorable Suzanne Rodriguez, Minister within the Ministry of Housing and Water, Honorable Kwame McCoy, Minister within the Office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for public affairs, members of Parliament here present today, executives from the Guyana Water Incorporated, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, all, a pleasant good afternoon to you. I think it is a fitting way for me to start this afternoon by saying, for the first time in the history of Guyana, water has seen significant investment under the leadership of His Excellency, Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali. It is my distinct honor to welcome all of you to this momentous occasion as we commission the Caledonia water treatment plant, a testament to Guyana's unwavering commitment to providing sustainable and reliable access to clean and potable water. This project reflects the visionary leadership of His Excellency, President Ali, and the government's dedication to improving the quality of life for citizens while addressing our country's growing water demands. The Caledonia water treatment plant stands as a beacon of progress, innovation, and investment in our nation's future. Today, we celebrate more than just the facility. We celebrate the realization of a promise to communities, the strengthening of Guyana's infrastructure, and a step forward in fulfilling our goal of universal access to potable water by the end of 2025. Let us take a moment to reflect on the hard work and collaboration that brought us here today. GWI's team, government agencies, and our partners, the contractors, all responsible for this facility that we are in here today. Your contributions have made this achievement possible. As we prepare to officially inaugurate this state-of-the-art facility, let us look to the future, one where Guyanese, regardless of location, has access to safe and dependable water. Thank you for joining us at this transformative journey. As we get started on today's program, I want to welcome to the podium for brief remarks, Contractor from Sigma Engineers Limited, Dr. Tamjeed Rahman.
His Excellency, President Dr. Mohammad Irfan Ali, Honorable Ministers, respected Chairman of GWI, respected CEO of GWI, the entire team of GWI, distinguished guests, and my beloved team members. It is an honor to stand before you today at the inauguration of this state-of-the-art water treatment plant. This landmark project is a testament to what can be achieved through collaboration and innovation. First and foremost, I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to His Excellency for his unwavering vision for the future of this great country, Guyana. I would like to thank the Ministry of Housing and Water and GWI for their trust and partnership through this endeavor. Our company is proud to have introduced cutting-edge technologies to this project, setting new standards for efficiency and sustainability in the water sector of Guyana. In addition to delivering what was originally promised, we took proactive steps to enhance the value of this project by providing additional equipment beyond what was required in the contract. This decision underscores our firm focus on quality and our commitment to excellence. An essential approach that we have taken in this project was to engage local Guyanese workforce and invest in growing the local expertise. Through structured knowledge-sharing initiatives, we not only aimed to complete this facility ahead of its completion time, but also we have sowed the seeds for future growth and development in Guyana's engineering and construction sectors. We believe the empowering local talent is crucial for sustainable progress, so we have followed that. Looking ahead, our company remains determined in our commitment to contribute to the growth and prosperity of this great country, Guyana. Together, we're not just building infrastructures, but also we're forging a brighter future for the generations to come. Let us continue this collaboration as we strive towards a shared vision of progress and innovation. I would like to thank our company's management team, our overseas teams, our suppliers from around the globe, including Bangladesh, India, China, Canada, USA, and of course in Guyana. A special thanks to our amazing team here in Guyana, our ground team. Whether you worked as an employee, as a subcontractor, as a consultant, or as a supplier, every single individual of our team members have put their best into this project. We literally worked through severe hot sun, rains, weekends, holidays, days and nights. Despite facing numerous challenges, we have worked relentlessly to complete this project on time. We had to overcome a lot of adverse conditions, but we did it together. This was made possible through GWI support and our team's incredible resilience and commitment. Our team, you guys are awesome. You be proud what we have achieved here through teamwork and all together. I would like to thank all of our families who sacrificed equally and provided us all the support that we needed to keep going. I would like to end my speech with a verse from the Holy Quran. Surely with hardship comes ease. My team, I hope you find your ease today. And let's get ready for our next challenge. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us here today. We do not take this moment for granted. God bless.
Thank you, Dr. Rahman, for those remarks. I know that the entire team from Sigma, they've been around the clock working hard to make this facility ready for today. So I think they deserve another round of applause for the tremendous work that they have put into this facility. At this time, we would like to hear a little bit on how the community feels about this development. So Ms. Shanaz Rahat, the Good Success Caledonia NDC chairperson, will give us a few remarks.
His Excellency President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, Honorable Minister of Housing, Honorable Minister Ms. Susan Rodriguez, Honorable Minister Kwame McCoy, Honorable Dr. Jennifer Westford, our cluster head, overseer, all chairperson, all councillors of the various NDCs on the East Bank and on the highway, special invited guests, police commanders, ranks, staff of the project engineering team, and most importantly, the residents. As the chairwoman of the NDC, it gives me great pleasure in participating in this life improvement government infrastructure activity. Words cannot explain my gratitude. Being the recipient of this modern state-of-the-art water treatment, our prayers have truly been answered. Mr. President, on behalf of the residents of the Caledonia to Good Success, I would like to say a big thank you to you, and it's my hope that our community will benefit from many more life improvement infrastructure projects. I must say, we expect this in the future. Well, of course, during your next 5-year reign. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rahat. Our next speaker, I think, is probably like a proud father at this time. I'd like to invite the CEO of GWI, Mr. Sheikh Bash, who will give us an overview of the project and how it will benefit the residents of surrounding communities.
Thank you very much, Travis. His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, Ministers of the Government, Board of Directors of GWI, Chairman and Board of Directors, and management and staff of GWI who are present here today. Also, the Sigma team, Mr. Tamjid and the team, and all you who are present here today. And this commissioning of the water treatment plant, which is a significant and symbolic occasion. Why I say this is because this is just the beginning of things to come over the next 3 to 4 months. Things are really accelerating because the government set a target of 90% treated water for the coastal population by 2025. But we will beat that time. By the middle of this year, I would say by the end of June, very likely we would have achieved that target. I want to put the commissioning of the Caledonia water treatment plant in context, because it's not only this plant, but along the entire East Bank corridor, there's been tremendous work in improving the water system. You go to Eccles, you have an upgraded plant now with wider coverage and a new well. You go to Covent Garden, you also have an upgraded plant, 2 new filters there, and a new well. And then you go to Grove, which is complete. The upgraded is complete in all these 3 plants, Eccles, Covent Garden, and Grove. And they will be ready for commissioning by the end of January of this year. So we are on the move. Also, we have transmission systems to support these treatment plants. From Grove to Eccles, there's over 30 kilometers of pipelines, which will be completed within the next 2 months, and at the tune of over $1 billion. And here also, from New Hope to Soesdijk, which this plant will serve, the coverage and will provide treated water to 12,000 persons, and that can expand to 14,000 persons. And I'll tell you more than that. This plant was designed to provide 6.3 megaliters of water per day, 6.3. At the present time, it is providing over 7 megaliters of water. And it will be expanded as the population grows to provide over 8 MLD of water, treated water. It's really a significant achievement by Sigma engineers because they have increased the capacity on the, based on the design of the plant from 6.3 to over 8 MLD, which is indeed an achievement. Now, as we move forward, apart from Eccles, Covent Garden, and Grove, we're not forgetting the people further up than Soesdijk, because this plant will provide coverage up to the junction, Soesdijk Junction. We are well ahead now, and this will be completed by June, to have a water treatment plant at Timeri, and new wells also to service the entire Timeri location, coming all the way to the south of the Soesdijk-Linden Highway, the roundabout there. So we are going to lay main transmission lines from Timeri, from the plant, to way down to Soesdijk, to give all those residents, including those in Dr. Charles' scheme and all the other schemes going eastwards, all of them will also enjoy treated water. So we're really on the move here on the East Bank. And to top it all, the plan is within the next 2 years or thereabouts, we will also be having a new surface water treatment plant at Diamond. Its works are, the plans are on the way, and we will have the IDB and JICA very likely funding that new water treatment, very large water treatment plant at Diamond. Broadening the focus from the East Bank, this is the first of 7 large treatment plants which are being constructed at the present time. As a matter of fact, 6 of those plants are already completed and are in testing mode right now, all 6, within the time specified. The only one outside of that is the largest of them all, and that is at Bachelor's Adventure on the east coast of Demerara. That's 3 times the size of this plant here at Caledonia. And that will be completed by the end of February. Because what caused the delay is because we upgraded the plant from a 15 MLD plant to a 20 MLD plant because of the growing population on the east coast of Demerara. So all in all, there are 7 plants coming on stream, and His Excellency will be very busy over the next 2 months. I can tell you that, commissioning these plants all over the country, all over the coastal belt, from Region 2 to Region 3 to Region 4. These plants will be commissioned. In addition to that, to meet our target of 90% treated water across the coastal belt, we have upgraded 12 treatment plants. Those 3 that I've mentioned on the east bank of Demerara, all over. 12 plants have been upgraded, and most of them have been, about 8 of them have been completed, and the remaining 4 by the end of January of this year. And to crown it all, we're not finished. We also have 18 small plants, what we call inline treatment plants, in the villages across the coastal belt, because that was necessary to achieve the 90% target. And already we have 1 plant already installed at Sparanam, the other plant already installed, small treatment plant at Farm, the Maikoni area. I was there about 3 weeks ago, and the people are so elated because we are still testing that plant out, and the quality of the water was so good that some people began to drink the water at farm and the surrounding villages at farm. Also, the Weldad, one treatment plant, a small one at Weldad, will be ready for commissioning by the end of this month. It has been installed at this time and will be tested. So you can see that His Excellency will indeed will be moving across the coastal belt, commissioning these plants, which will benefit so many Guyanese, 90% of the coastal population. And the people have expressed their concern over the last 3 years or more than that about the quality of the water which is coming out. Don't forget, it's coming from the aquifer, high iron content. So essentially, these plants are iron removal plants. And at this plant here, I was informed that we have exceeded by far the WHO standard, far below the WHO standard, which is 0.03 iron mg per liter. And this plant is achieving 0.01 iron content. So at the end of the ceremony here, I can assure you, you can have here, you can drink the water, pure water coming from this plant here, because it's very hot today. And for you to drink this water here. No longer the vision, the mission of GWI right now is to ensure that across the coastal belt over the next 2 to 3 years, if not immediately in some cases, you can drink the water from the taps to be pure, treated, safe water for you, the people of Guyana. Now, something more about the Caledonia treatment plant. It's a state-of-the-art facility, as was mentioned before, constructed by Sigma engineers of Bangladesh. They are constructing 3 of the treatment plants. This one here, Caledonia, one at Cummins Lodge, which is ready also, and the one at Bachelor's Adventure. Now, this plant is equipped with a power generator, which means a large power generator just to the south of that building there, going there, right there. And what it will do is to provide water security even when there is electricity outages. So we have planned that for all the 7 plants. Huge power generators have been installed to provide a 24-hour service uninterrupted. Again, the disinfection system here is one called pristine water hypochlorite generator, using what we call as the sodium chloride to treat the water, to disinfect the water, or common cooking salt. This is what we are using here, which will save GWI and the government of Guyana millions and millions of dollars, because right now we're importing chlorine to disinfect the water. It's coming all the way from Turkey, from India, and so on. So we did a lot of research at GWI. We have a strong research and development team, and we have moved to chlorinate, to ensure that the water is disinfected with the common salt, which is huge savings and very cheap. So here in the plant, you have 3 filters, 2 MLD filters at the western end, and you have also a contact tank, which we call a contact tank, which initiates the treating process for the water. And then you have the 2 large storage facility, glass-fused storage facilities there, ensuring adequate amount of water is available for peak hours also. So a lot of things are being done. And the PSI, that is the pressure that will be provided to the residents here, will be not less than 8 PSI, which is equivalent to about 16 feet of water. When we activate the entire transmission network, because we have large, you will see it just now, large booster pumps installed here already to push the water through huge transmission systems, 16-inch transmission mains, running all the way, it will run all the way from New Hope to Soesdijk. So these are all very, very important factors. Now, the total investment for this project here, including for the plant, is 700 million Guyana dollars. And for the plant and the transmission system and the other structures, it will be $1.6 billion, or 133,000 per capita. Now, as I conclude, I want to state that the GWI took on the mandate set by the government. And we have set up a strong project execution unit, and they have performed. They worked closely with the contractors for all the plants, and they have delivered. And it's a plus for GWI, I would say. We've brought in these plants in record time, as you heard Mr. Tamjeet saying, within the contract period, and so on. So we have done this at a very low cost, because when you bring in the banks to fund these projects, you have to get a supervisory consultancy, and this is very costly. And we have been able to bring in this plant here at a very, very low cost, I can assure you. And we've built capacity here at GWI. However, as we move forward, we would need to ensure the maintenance. The operational efficiency is second to none of these plants, including the one here, and the maintenance and training of our people, the staff here at GWI. And to that extent, we are now exploring a proposal will be put to the government to look at a technical support contract to help GWI to ensure these plants and these facilities and these assets of the people of Ghana are maintained very, very efficiently. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bash, for that overview of all the development that has been happening here at Caledonia, not only here, but across the country, how the water sector is moving. At this time, we take a bit of an interlude to hear a special poem that was curated from a student of the Craig Primary School. And the two persons that will recite it is Varshini Deusaran and Shazad Alikok. This poem is entitled Water, Water Everywhere. Let's give it up for them.
Good afternoon, His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali and everyone. Our poem is entitled Water, Water Everywhere by Charles Woodhouse.
Water, water everywhere, to wash my hands and wash my hair. It's nice to drink it by the pool, slurp it, sip it, nice and cool.
Comes from clouds, don't you know? Falls in rain and also snow. Keep it clean or you will be sick as sick can be. We are lucky here at school to have clean water to keep us cool. Think of others when you get paid and give a bit to water aid. Thank you.
I like the end of that. Think a little when you get paid. Give it to Water Aid. Before I introduce our next speaker that will deliver remarks, I want to recognize our board of directors from the GWI. So if we can have them stand so we can recognize them, some of our directors that are here today. Don't be shy. Yes, these are some of the persons that are, behind all that is happening, the late nights, and the chairman, Mr. Ramesh Duku. So I just wanted to recognize our board of directors. Welcome. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our next speaker, the Honorable Minister of Housing and Water, Colin Crowell, as he delivers remarks here today.
Thank you very much. His Excellency, President Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali, my colleague minister in this sector, Honorable Minister Susan Rodriguez, and I want to recognize Minister Kwame McCoy, Member of Parliament and former Minister Jennifer Westford, Chairperson of the Board of GWI, Ramesh Duku, and I think probably forgot which hat he was wearing a few minutes ago, and members of the Board of GWI, CEO of GWI, Mr. Sheikh Bash, and recognize a number of senior staff, the hard-working staff of GWI, a number of NDC chairpersons here today, including here the NDC in which we are now, and that's the Caledonia. And I also want to recognize the chairman of the NDC from Herstellin. The contractor for this project, Sigma Engineering, and this team that is standing at the back in their safety vests. More importantly, the residents, the residents of East Bank, who are the beneficiaries of why we are here today, members of the media, special invitees, good afternoon all. The pleasure is mine to join our President in this momentous occasion as we commission this Caledonia water treatment plant, a project that embodies the commitment of this PBPC administration to ensure we improve the life of every citizen of Guyana. This coastal water treatment infrastructure program, through which the water treatment plant here was envisaged, is achieved now, and it was designed to improve and increase the quality of water as part of a collective throughout our country. This achievement is not the work of any single individual or entity, but the product of collaboration, dedication, and a shared vision. I first of all hereby extend my heartfelt thank you to our President, President Mohammed Irfan Ali, who has ensured that every step of the way, once we present a program, a project, and a vision, we have received every resource asked to be delivered on these projects. I want to recognize the hardworking staff of GWI, our development partners, and all who contributed in this project. The Caledonia water treatment plant marks a transformative step in ensuring that more communities here in Region 4 have access to clean, reliable, and safe water. This facility, which serves 12,000 to 14,000 residents, meeting a critical need for potable water and enhancing public health, sanitation, and overall living standards. We all hear the term, water is life. It is a fundamental human right, and a right that we have also signed on to as part of the United Nations Development Goal, for which the target is 2030. But our government will fulfill our SDG 6 commitment by 2025, this year in 2025. This plant will play a pivotal role in supporting industry and households, contributing to the development and sustainability of our nation. Today's commissioning aligns with our broader vision for a more developed Guyana. Over the past 4.5 years, we have made significant strides in the housing, infrastructure, and the water sector. The establishment of these modern water treatment facilities, one of 7, the first 7, is to ensure that our country's progress is inclusive and sustainable. This year, we are especially reminded of the importance of continuity and leadership that prioritizes the welfare of all Guyanese. I want to assure you that under President Mohamed Irfan Ali, your government remains committed to delivering on the promises made to the people of Guyana. The government's investment in this critical area of water has been outstanding. And I'm pleased to let you know, on the other hand, in terms of the housing sector, while we have been able to commit over 40,300 house lots, and the beneficiaries are Guyanese who are now able to build their own home. Similarly, in the water sector, the total investment in 4 years is over $50 billion. In fact, on last year's investment, it is twice the total investment in the water sector on the APNU AFC period 2015 to 2020. Last year alone, we doubled that amount, and we invested over $23 billion in the water sector for 2024. We therefore believe in action, not just words, and this plant is proof of what can be accomplished with contributions, commitment, and hard work. As I speak, as part of the Region 4 program, or the entire coastline, I should say, we have, in 4 years, drilled or nearing completion 28 coastline wells. 3 of those for the Caledonia here and the Grove. The actual drilling is complete, but the final development is happening and will be completed in a week time. And we have just commenced one at Block 5 at Grove in the new housing area. But the programs and the initiatives that the CEO outlined of what the current coastline program entails speaks towards a first phase. Because as I just mentioned to you of what has happened in the housing sector, and this current program caters for the existing occupancy, we therefore have embarked on the phase 2. And note I've said have embarked because the first draft of that program has been discussed because GWI cannot prepare the program in isolation. And so that has to be done in conjunction with CHPA. The first draft is already complete, and very shortly that will be presented firstly to Cabinet, where we are looking at the phase 2, which takes on board all of the current new housing developments, the over 60-something new housing areas that we have developed under this PBPC tenure. And the program or the initiative that will mirror what is happening at the Hope Canal on the east coast of Demerara, and I speak here now of tapping into a freshwater source, and that is from the Conservancy here on the east. In fact, our housing development on the East Bank, the infrastructure work is now parallel to the Conservancy, is reached inwards to the Conservancy. And so that, as part of ensuring that we look at alternative sources, because in the long term, one also has to be cognizant of the aquifer that we're tapping into. This treatment plant to be developed here within the Diamond Grove area will be another initiative to ensure that together we can be able to supply as quickly as possible. And Mr. President, the phase 2, we are looking to complete the phase 2 within a 3-year time period. So to the residents of Caledonia and the surrounding areas and the communities here, this is your plant. You are the first beneficiary of others along the coastline. And I therefore use this forum now to thank our population for their patience. Because with the more advent of the usage of social media, it is now much more quicker for persons, rather than picking up the phone and report an issue, they post it there. So what you see sometimes, you see a lot of times if there's a breakage or there's a disruption or the discolored water coming through the tap, we don't often hear enough of what your government has done to address this. And all of this is part of our 2021 to 2025 program as we march towards a 2030 total transformation of this cooperative Republic of Guyana. So in closing, because I know you want to hear our president, let me reiterate that this is only the beginning. We are building a Guyana where every home has access to clean water, where every family can thrive, and where every community can flourish. Together, we will continue to move forward, creating a stronger, more united, and a prosperous nation under one Guyana. Thank you, and may God bless you all.
Thank you, Minister Kroll, for your insight here this afternoon. The next item on our program, it was actually intended to be a duet, but at rehearsals, when Mr. David heard me sing, he said he doesn't think he can afford to pay me. So we will invite from Friendship Secondary School, Joyanne Alam, as she graces us with "Oh Beautiful Guyana."
Good afternoon, His Excellency and everyone. My song is entitled "Oh Beautiful Guyana." Oh, beautiful Guyana, oh, my lovely native land, more dear to me than all the world, thy sea-washed, sun-kissed strand. Oh, down upon the boards, looking out upon the deep, the great Atlantic blown into a fury. Oh, asleep at morn, at noon, or better in the crimson sunset's glow. I love thee, oh, I love thee. Thank you.
Thank you, Joyanne. Just before I introduce His Excellency for the featured or keynote address this afternoon, we have a short video that was curated that I would like everyone to bear witness, including those joining us online. This shows what this water treatment plant looked like before this entire facelift for this entire revamp. And a key thing to note, it's since 1971, right, Mr. Vash, that there was a well here, so it has been serving since 1971. But nevertheless, we treat you to a video. For those who might not be able to see it clearly, it will be on the Guyana Water Incorporated's Facebook page as well as the Ministry of Housing and Water. So do enjoy this.
The government of Guyana is financing the coastal water treatment infrastructure program to increase treated water coverage to 90% by the end of 2025 at a cost of 40 billion Guyana dollars. The coastal water treatment infrastructure program is currently constructing 7 new large water treatment plants, 18 small plants, upgrading 12 existing plants, and installing 200 kilometers of transmission mains to improve water quality, continuity of service, and level of service in regions 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The Caledonia water treatment plant is one of 3 new plants constructed in Region 4. This plant is designed to treat 8 million liters of water per day. The site was first developed as a water treatment facility in 1971 with support from USAID. The Caledonia water treatment plant is a state-of-the-art facility which has new and improved methods of iron removal. The plant is fully automated and has standby power generation designed for continuous water supply. GWI contracted Sigma Engineers Limited to build the treatment plant facility at a cost of 700 million Guyana dollars to benefit the residents of surrounding communities.
So there you have it, Caledonia water treatment plant before and
to hundreds of fires. And I want to thank them because they avoided many disasters in those response. Many nights we receive call right from the East Bank in relation to the proximity of those, we describe them as bushfire, grass fire, to communities. We responded in hinterland communities. At one stage, the crisis was so intense that we sought help from neighboring Brazil to quell the flames in our forests. So, water resource management is not only about treated water and drinking water for the population. It is about ensuring we have availability of water for all of Earth existence, whether it's the trees, the animals, agriculture, and it's about managing water resource in a way that it can meet the requirement of all that is existing in our system, ecosystem. That is why the Guyana Water Inc., as you know it now, in the coming years will change rapidly and will become a national water management entity that not only will look at the management of water through wells or residential use, but that other use, reservoirs, must be examined. The water resources must be managed in a sustainable way. So the Integrated Water Resource Management Program, which will deal with conservation, reservoirs, integration, a study of our aquifers, all of that will be the transitioning, will be where we're transitioning into in our national water management entity. Part of that is also to ensure that the hydrants, you know, we have a national hydrants program ongoing, are critically integrated into the network plan of GWI so that our response in communities will be supported by the availability of water. Important also is sustainability, and part of the mandate that the management of GWI would have received was to ensure the greater use of fresh water into the water management system. And one important project I think would commence shortly, that is the Hope Canal water treatment facility. We're hoping to have one in Diamond and then in Region 3. Wherever we are dumping fresh water, we are dumping expensive assets. And we have to convert that asset into value. So that is what the future would require of us. Now, this future in terms of water supply and delivery and management is also going to be quite different in the coming months and years ahead of us. Colin spoke about the growing housing development. But it's not only housing development, it is the quality of homes and differences in investment of homes. And this would only be better as the cost of energy is reduced by 50%, then everyone would want to put a pressure pump on their system, and that pressure pump will pressurize their water system in their homes. They will want heaters. This is just the natural growth of economy and the natural growth of the population and living standards that we cannot avoid. So the less cost of energy also would have not only a positive impact on your operation costs, but it also have impact in terms of use and conservation. That is where education will become very important. Public awareness will become very important. Innovation in agriculture. More and more you will see that young people are going to take to agriculture and food production in a different way. Whether it's hydroponics, whether it's shade houses, you'll have more agro-processing that requires high quality water and high use of water also. And that will be in areas that were traditionally not utilizers of piped water. So that's another area. The expansion of housing, as Colin said, but industrial, commercial expansion, the building of new hotels. I mean, in Temeri, your system would now have to be designed not only to carry the international airport, but to carry an international hotel that will be completed very soon. You have 14 new hotels within close proximity. So you have to have a system that is integrated to ensure that those hotels are adequately supplied. You'll have the new Enmore Industrial and Commercial Development Zone. You have the New Wales Development Authority. You have, look at what is happening in Houston, the expansion of Houston, Eccles, Providence, and as you drive, you see it. The new highway that will connect Soesdijk to Georgetown. We are now going on the third phase to Land of Canaan. All of these things are going to drive up the demand for water. And we therefore must plan carefully how we develop our assets and infrastructure to meet the future needs. So it's not as simplistic as some may want to believe, that you just wake up and decide you're putting a water treatment plant. It has a lot more complexity, a lot more planning and integration that goes behind the scene that allows us to build a system that will last us another. I told Richard walking in here that these plants will have to outlive all of us, right? So that tells you we don't intend to leave soon. So it gives you an idea of how long we want these plants to, to serve these young children that are here. So when we came back into office in 2020, we came with a very clear vision, and that is how we can reduce the costs of water to the homes, how we can improve quality, how we can expand production, invest in the network, and give people a higher quality of water. And as we came into government, we met a pandemic for almost 2 years, the COVID-19 pandemic. What we did was not only the removal of VAT on these services that was imposed by the last government, the APNU AFC government. I don't know if Ramesh was a member of the board when you imposed that charge on the people.
I had left.
Oh, you had left? Okay. So he said he would have left. It's astonishing. Between past and current ministers of water, you have 4 here. So we came and we met this scenario, and we did something that shocked the world. We reduced the cost of water, the tariff, water tariff. Not only did we remove taxes, but we reduced water tariff by 5%. That would have saved consumers more than $260 million annually. And that was in keeping with initiatives to cushion the impact of the pandemic. But we never returned that reduction. We kept that reduction when we came into office up to now, that $260 million that we give back to consumers annually. And guess what? Aubrey, I was shocked that you were part of the management that removed the subsidies that we give pensioners. You know, Aubrey was one of the champions, himself and Marlon and Jailal, who worked with me, and you know, and they were very strong. We should give pensioners the subsidy. And as soon as I left office, these guys reintroduced the subsidy. They had no part in that, I can assure you. They were just carrying out policies of the then government. Right, Aubrey? So we were very happy also that we reintroduced the subsidies for pensioners. And sometimes these things are easily forgotten. Easily forgotten. The subsidies that we placed there without oil. With oil under the last government was removed. We came back in office, we reintroduced those subsidies. We invested over $65 billion in the water sector in the last 4 years. We've increased access to the supply of potable water to about 98.3% of the population. And I'm not going to go through all the projects that we have invested in to make this possible. I think the Minister and Sheikh, they would have adequate those ground. But when you listen to the story, sometimes we forget the starting point. And I want to retract a bit and position ourselves back at the starting point in 1992. It's going to be a quick journey. When we came into office in 1992, that is the People's Progressive Party, every single international report and study pointed to water as a major disaster, pointed to public health issues as a result of what was taking place in the water sector. And Jenny would know that as a health professional, I spent a lot of time attending to public health issues as a result of poor water supply and unhealthy delivery of water. In 1992, the government inherited what was described in international reports, a water situation in Guyana that was nothing short of a national disaster. The system was in shambles and collapse or in collapse. That was how the system was described. Right, Richard? Less than 50% of the population had access to safe drinking water. And access, let me pause to say this, was defined differently then as now. Today, access is defined as to your door, to your household, to your premise, and as Richard is rightfully saying, even up the first floor. Access in 1992 was just having the ability to touch water or get water in a cup. The report further said, not only did we have that scenario of less than the 50% of the people having access, but you had something worse. The report said that the infrastructure was in total collapse, with even those having access to water, they were accessing unsafe and unhealthy water because of the leaks and the breakage in the transmission and distribution system. You would recall that people would have walked miles to get water, and the water would be cloudy or muddy. And I remember as a boy, you would take the water and transfer it from one bucket to the other bucket with 3 layers of cloth straining out the mud and then leaving the rest to settle at the bottom of the bucket. That was what it was. The World Bank report in 1993 painted a grim picture of the situation. It stated plainly that the water service levels in Guyana were plagued by great deficiency. Almost all the pumping stations and distribution networks were either approaching collapse or had already failed. That is the international report. This is after 28 years of government by the PNC, now APNU AFC. And we had a reminder of failed policy and failed government between 2015 and 2020, when the subsidies were removed, when VAT was added. And we mentioned before, both the chair of the board, Sheikh, and I think Richard, I heard you commented on this, that in 2020, what we found was that the maintenance of the system had completely collapsed. Leakages. The entire system was plagued with leakages. We had to go back and fix all of that transmission system. Preventative maintenance was practically non-existent. We had chronic shortage of spare parts and supplies to fixing anything. That was the World Bank report. This, of course, posed serious health threat. Contaminated water often seep back into the system, threatening and destroying the health system of the country. Those are international reports. Lives of many women and children were spent fetching and storing water in every conceivable container. Citizens had in some cases walked miles just to fetch water, carrying heavy buckets or drums or carts. For most, this was their daily reality. These young children today would grow up in a different environment. They would not have experienced this. And that is what development should be, to avoid successive generations experiencing the failures of the past. And that is what public policy is about. Continuously developing public policy that avoid the pitfalls, shortfalls, and failures of the past in building strong, resilient future. And that is why I started to tell you that this is not the end. I started off this conversation by telling you we know what the challenge is. And we know where the policy must take us. We know what the National Water Authority must look like and what are the challenges. And I want to say that we have one of the most, I would say, qualified young technical team in this region in our water sector. These guys and girls, whether it's in the research department, whether it's in finance, and with strong technical support from some of the experienced folks here, we have built over the years a technical team that, well, I tell them how I feel sometime about what they do, but they are, I can tell you, highly competent, highly competent. We've invested in their training, and Sheikh said we save consultancy if you had to pay consultancy for these projects. That did not happen by accident. When he was minister and I took over, we deliberately embarked on a strategy with the IDB to train all our engineers in project management and to train them, upskill them with master's degree. And we said to the IDB then that we're investing in this, so don't come back and tell us we don't have the capability or competence. Over the years, resource, we have saved billions of dollars from consultancy services. For a matter of fact, I've lived long enough to see many of those who we train left and opened their own consultancy and are working throughout the region. And even those who are threatening to look at business opportunity now, I told them they better hold their horses. This is not the time to shy away from challenge. This is the time to confront and work together as a team in overcoming every challenge and creating this new framework of development. So this was the state of things when the PPP civic government took office. The water supply system wasn't just broken, it was broken down and abandoned. So we started this journey of fixing, prioritizing the investment, and doing so was a monumental task. I said to communities a few days ago, it was not because the engineers lacked the ability that they put the pipeline in the middle of the road, the transmission line, because Sheikh was minister when they did that. But they did not have a choice. We did not have the resources at that time to put the transmission line on both sides of the road. So you had a choice. Either we put it in or we stay without the water. These things were not accidental. These things were as a consequence of the state in which our country was. And let me tell you, many of the distribution lines were there since colonial times. Some of them were asbestos lines. That is what we inherited. Whilst we were dealing with that challenge, the government was also expanding housing rapidly. So you have to fix the existing system to serve the existing consumer, and at the same time, housing was expanding. We were playing catch-up almost all the time. And then we still had to find resource to start the investment in the hinterland communities. And we did all of that at a time when 94% of all our revenue was used to service debt. A debt that was inherited in 1992 after 28 years of failed leadership. All of that we have to accomplish. Just imagine that you are into a home, you gotta fix the roof, you go to a one-bedroom home. You gotta fix the roof, fix the floor, fix the kitchen. At the same time, 2 additional children come. You gotta expand to a one-bedroom and another bedroom. And then you still have to use 94 cents on every dollar you earn to pay the debt of the one-bedroom home. That was, now magnify that at the national level and at the country level. That is why I think we should applaud all those who worked in this system during that difficult time, all the cabinet members, the leadership. And that is, you know, very few governments can go back to their past records and proudly present it and speak about it. I can go back to our record from 1992 and speak about it very, very proudly. The last government don't even want you to take them back to their most immediate record of 2015 to 2020. They say forget about that. Let's not talk about that. These are important things, not for us to sleep away on. If we sleep away on these things, we'll be sleeping away on the future. Or we can sleep the problem away, but the impact on the people would be very much awake. The impact on the people will be very much awake. So we undertook this task of rebuilding the water sector. And by 2012, we were able to increase access to safe water by more than 80,000 people. We are now continuing that progress to today, where 98.3% of our population have access to water. And we have been able to improve access between 2020 to now in the hinterland from 46% to 91%. That is remarkable. This, of course, came through major investment in water treatment plants, in the inline treatment plants. They did not even talk to you about the hundreds of wells that we are drilling all across the country, the hundreds of wells that we're doing in the hinterland, and all the investments we are making to ensure that the pitfalls of the past are never repeated and that the system is built to support a future decades ahead of us. I congratulate once again the contractors, the consultant, GWI team, the board, the ministry, and all those who would have facilitated and worked diligently to have this project completed within time, and look forward for the benefits of this project to the people of the East Bank and the people of Guyana. I thank you and God bless you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your powerful insight. I would actually invite you, ministers of government, as well as members of parliament, for the official unveiling of the plaque. And the board as well, the board of GWI, the chairman of the NDC, both Suzdijk and Caledonia, good success, to officially unveil the plaque. At the same time, I will invite Mrs. Akusa McPherson to offer a vote of thanks.
The girl song, the little girl is singing. How she got here, she come. No, wait, don't announce it.
Thank you is such a prayer that cannot be seen or touched. It must be felt by heart. I feel honored and privileged to have the opportunity to propose a vote of thanks on this auspicious occasion. I would like to thank all the honorable guests who have blessed us with their presence. I am also very much thankful to all invited guest speakers. Words are not enough to thank them for committing to be here today. On behalf of the Guyana Water Incorporated and the organizing committee, I convey deep regards and hearty thanks to His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, for gracing us with his presence and delivering deep insights on developments and improvements in the water sector over the years. Words are not enough to express gratitude to Honorable Colin Crowell, Minister of Housing and Water, for his informative and dynamic remarks and his continuous support in the water sector. I am also thankful to GWI's CEO, Mr. Sheikh Bash, for his unwavering support and tangible contribution to today's occasion. My special thanks to the head teachers and students of the Friendship Secondary and Craig Primary Schools for their gracious presence. At this juncture, I would also like to thank the NDC chairperson that is. My sincere thanks to her for the support given at various stages. I would like to acknowledge Sigma Engineers Limited, who contributed towards the construction of this water treatment plant and significantly supported the team in planning today's event. I would also like to thank
that we electrolyze the system and we separate sodium hypochlorite and hydrogen separately, and we use it for disinfection. This is more successful than the previous calcium hypochlorite dosing. Yeah, because it creates a lot of clogging and corrosion. So this is one of the best disinfection systems.
Oxidized iron, the ferric hydroxide, which can
What's the total? What's the total storage capacity?
We have two storage.
And what's the projected demand for this?
projected demand per day, the current design of the plant is 600, but we have said by Mr. Plaque the capability to go further than that.
Average day demand
Right now,
is
the requirement
6 points.
around 6 points.
Yeah, but peak hour demand will be about 10.
So the storage is just back up.
Yeah, the storage peak hour. Peak hour.
Peak hours, right?
Yeah, peak hours.
So when you finish the treatment, it goes directly to storage.
Yeah. Goes into storage. Storage is storage.
So everything goes to the system from storage.
Storage, yes. There is a retention time of 6 hours, sir. So maximum you can hold 6 hours of water.
Right.
This is a redundancy during the peak hours.
And what is the replenishment rate?
You fill it every day.
What was the replenishment rate? If the storage,
If you use every storage.
is 6 hours, this means every 6 hours you have to replenish.
No, 6 hours is the retention.
Is the storage only for emergency or is storage is continuously supplying the system?
So we are producing water, putting it in the storage, and supplying. It's a continuous process. So like let's say something happens for while we maintain very quickly, we still have to
Water to supply. There won't be any interruption.
Not necessarily. You don't necessarily have to. No. Because if something goes down when the tank is at half,
Yes.
you have a minute. No.
The good thing.
That's why I'm saying to you that I was asking whether they reserve storage. You don't really have a reserve storage. You have an active storage facility that's integrated in the system.
The other thing is that
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You know, filters traditionally use sand. Now we use manganese. Manganese absorbs the iron fast and better. So now the filters are manganese and silicon.
Yes. And also another thing, sir, with the manganese dioxide, it's a regenerative process because we do a pre-chlorination which regenerates the ammonia. So that means the maintenance time for this tank will be much like longer. So we don't have to replace this media like that often, but they will regenerate the media.
And this is the first time in Canada we're using these tanks. These are what we call glass-fused steel tanks, right? There's a glass layer fused on the steel. That prevents corrosion of the steel. Right?
And
so these tanks are all glass.
Mold, everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very clear.
It's better to stop water.
It's very clear.
Mineral water.
No scent, no nothing.
It is spelled a bit of chlorine.
And I'm going to store it to ensure that nothing is
Shaken, not
separated.
stirred. Yeah. Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
only thing is that is
Just take care. Let them through here, sir. So, Ronald, while we walk,
Yeah.
keep explaining what we're doing. So, from the contact, then we go to the hard.
Yeah. And this happens these manganese dioxide is actually ore, it's not coated. So it has 80% purity. So and like that is 96% less than the WHO standards. Like WHO standard is 0.3, we are at 0.01. Then 95% more than WHO standards. So that's how we are able to achieve this. From this, we have two storage tanks, 1,000 not a storage tank like as you said, it's an active continuous storage tanks where continuously water is being pumped and it's used for backwash too because we can do the backwash using the same water. And during the backwash, means the cleaning of filters, there is no stoppage of plant because it is designed and the backwash rate is much higher than normal filters. 5 minutes backwash rate. And but in order for backwashing also, prior to using the backwash water, you have to use our the first thing that happens is the window here, the system changes and it scours the bed and the iron gets removed. And then the water comes afterwards. But the backwash pumps are very big. Gone. So we have actually all these tanks. We have 16 14 tanks. Those are manufacturing of the most of all we do the 16 of soil and what is the control? What do you say in your range is to the
The green one is right now the red one like the offerer is not really like fully focused or something like alarm.
livenation.com.
That's part of the council what is supposed to do.
They have through the
It's also on a map.
So if we have internet connected here, then anywhere
Operate so once this is on 35, you can operate in that yes. See what's going on. Yes. Head office. Head office is just you don't need to drive from here.
but they still have Wi-Fi here. So that's another.
Automatic.
Everything is alarm.
And every given empty tank has the indication. You can see here fault indication, running indication, and the phase indication.
And safety net. In case something goes wrong with the voltage or something, it's not going to fry the machine. It's going to break the circuit here.
And the DJ system is also automatic. If our power is cut off, our diesel generator will automatically start.
And these are our outlets.
The design is 275, we are on 225. So we have 4 pumps, 4 personal pumps, 2 working scan pumps. So anytime something goes wrong,
Come in there.
Come.
Very wide lens and
Yeah, come, find the step. Beyond.
This is big, huge, enormous, humongous, gigantic, galactic, gargantuan. Sorry, I'm just so excited. Check out these mega must-haves for, you got it, the big game. The Hisense